if someone is allowed to exert power over you, if you allow the feelings of another to control you, to control your behavior, what's actually happening is you're exerting a manipulative kind of power over them. Because what's going on is, first of all, someone is claiming that you're responsible for their feeling, claiming that you're responsible for their emotional experience. That's the first thing. And so perhaps they're angry or upset or something, and they say it's with you, and they say it's because of you, it's because of your behavior. And whether they demand it or they imply it, they're saying that behavior needs to change so that they can feel better. If you accept that projection, if you permit that to be true, by your believing it, by your thinking it, by your following that, then what's going to happen? You're going to feel responsible. You're going to feel bad. You're going to feel like you did something wrong and that now you need to fix it. But what's really going on with your feeling the need to fix it is you're uncomfortable with their discomfort with you. And because you don't feel safe in that space, because you are now making them responsible for your experience, saying, oh no, your discomfort with me, your anger at me, whatever it is what needs to change. I can't handle your feeling upset and believing that it's my fault. I can't handle your anger at me, your discomfort with me or my decisions. And now because I am not allowing your emotional experience to be what it is, I'm going to try to convince you by changing my behavior to change yours. And so now I'm manipulating you, actually. Instead of allowing you to feel uncomfortable or angry or upset, I'm trying to change it. I'm trying to fix it because there's a deep perception in me that that's not okay. I am disallowing an emotional experience. And what appears to be my disallowance of your emotional experience is actually the rejection of mine. Because what's happening in me, I am feeling uncomfortable. I am feeling uncomfortable with what you are saying to me and what you are feeling and saying is about me or because of me. And instead of accepting that as okay and I'm allowed to feel uncomfortable, I'm allowed to feel this, whatever this is, instead of just sitting in that and experiencing it, I'm trying to change it, and the only way I can change it is by changing how you feel. So now you are responsible for my emotional experience. That's what I've done in that situation. And the only way out is to return to the place of taking ownership of your own emotion, recognizing, if only for a brief period, I thought it was because of you. It's not because of you, it's because I'm rejecting myself. And whatever I have rejected in you is a rejection of me. It's the same thing. In fact, whatever I could be upset with in or about you is what I have felt upset with within myself. So if it's anger, if it's grief, if it's discomfort, whatever it is, there has been a time, and maybe that time is also right now, that I have felt that feeling and tried to fix it, tried to tell it to go away. I told it it was wrong, it wasn't allowed to be there, it wasn't supposed to be there, I didn't want it there, and I tried to make it change. And instead of doing that, this time, I'm just gonna let it be felt. I'm going to let myself feel whatever this uncomfortably perceived emotion is in this moment. And in doing so, I am allowing you to feel it. I'm giving you permission to feel it. Whether or not you take that, that's your choice. But because I'm not seeking to change what's happening within me, I'm not going to seek to change what's happening within you. I'm allowed to feel this. You are allowed to feel what you're feeling. Neither one of us needs to change. There's nothing wrong here. Nobody's in the wrong. Nobody's done anything wrong. There's nothing wrong happening. There's nothing bad about this. It's just emotion being experienced. It's just energy expressing. And I'm going to choose to let it express. In fact, that is the only way I can honor self, yours and mine. And if I'm not honoring myself, I'm not honoring yours. I can't get to mine through yours. I gotta start within. I gotta start with mine. I gotta start with me. And when I honor me, I'm honoring you. But if I'm trying to honor you and that's the focus, it's gonna happen in a roundabout, fucky, ego-based way that isn't actually a service to self. Because I didn't put myself and my experience first. I have to put that first. I'm the one experiencing it. If I'm not focused on allowing what I'm feeling, then there's no way I can actually allow and accept what you're feeling. It happens simultaneously. And it starts in me. And I'm thinking about this word compromise because I don't think it means what we think it means. Well, it does and it doesn't. It's got different meanings, you know? And I haven't read a dictionary definition of it recently, but we talk about this word and we say compromise is a good thing. It's good to compromise, but then we have phrases like compromise your integrity, or our cover has been compromised, the mission has been compromised, the position's been compromised. And what does it mean in those contexts? I mean, especially to compromise your integrity. That means you went against yourself. That means something went off. Something went off the rails. We got distracted. We lost sight of something, went haywire here. So how is it different, actually? If we're compromising with somebody else, what ground are we giving up? And I'm not suggesting, because I know holding a position, especially a mental position, can be a very ego-based thing. And that's why I think it's important to examine, what is this position that we're holding? Is it something that I feel threatened in ceding, or is it something that I feel threatened almost in holding? This is so tricky, and I'm working it out within myself. But what are the consequences here? If I hold this ground, what is at risk? You being upset or me being upset? Because why would I upset myself in order not to upset you? Why would I do that? We've been told that's the way it's supposed to be, but how is that an honoring of self? If I choose to upset myself so that you feel less upset, first of all, I'm manipulating you. I am manipulating you. That is trying to control your behavior instead of allowing it to be what it is. Second of all, I'm dishonoring myself and you in this process. I am being inauthentic. If I am choosing to upset myself instead of you, then I'm not serving myself and I'm not serving yours. I'm not being who I truly am. I'm not following what it is I really feel. That doesn't benefit anybody. And what it does ultimately is breed resentment, because now I'm in this position where I have compromised myself in order to change your behavior, and then I don't feel good about it. And then I make it more your fault. Whether or not I'm consciously doing it, it's happening. If I surrender, if I concede to you so that I appease you, and I do something that upsets myself in order for you to feel better, and I tell myself, that's what I want, I just want you to feel better. That's not true. And I know it's not true, and I can feel the ickiness of that boiling inside of me. I can feel that turning into resentment. It turns toxic because what I just did is I disallowed my own energy from flowing. I went against myself because I wasn't allowing you your emotional experience. And because I made you responsible for my discomfort with that. My discomfort with what you're feeling. And then because I made you responsible, I did something to try to change it. And now all of it is just fucky and icky and doesn't feel good. So what is the only answer? What is the only way that I can feel good about this? Woo! Oh shit. Ice patch. It's by being myself. Thank you, universe. I have to champion myself. I have to stand for myself. And I'm not standing against, I'm just standing for. I'm standing for me. I'm saying I gotta do me. Because I'm not of service to anyone if I'm not doing that. If I'm not putting myself and my feeling first. If I'm going against my desire to appease you, that the energy of that is all wonky. It is all gross. It's only, and you're gonna feel it. Furthermore, you're gonna know it. You're gonna know that I bent to this to try to change your behavior, and that I'm not happy about it, even if I pretend that I am, even if I tell myself that I am. I'm not. The only answer is for me to want what I want and not be sorry about it, not apologize for it. Because if I feel bad for your feeling bad, it's just more bad feeling. That's all we're generating there. Somebody's got to stand up and say, you know what? I don't feel bad. I am ending the cycle of feeling bad. You can do it, but the buck stops here. I don't feel bad about what you're feeling. I don't feel bad about what I'm feeling. I'm choosing power. I'm choosing joy. I'm choosing to recognize that you're not responsible for my emotional experience and I'm not responsible for yours. And that's it. And because neither one of us is responsible for each other's experience, because we are each our own creators of our own reality, I'm going to let you create your reality. And I'm going to keep my hands off of it. And I'm going to recognize that your hands don't touch mine. You have no influence over me and I have none over you. There is no struggle here. There's nothing to exert. We are not in conflict. Your experience is your own. Mine is mine. Nobody makes me feel, and I don't make anybody else feel. So it's all okay. Whatever is felt is okay. And I'm not going to be sorry for wanting what I want. How could I be? Why would I be? That's a disservice. That's disempowering to all self. In my owning what I want and not apologizing for it, I am standing as an example. I am a shining beacon of that. so that you get inspired to want the same way, selfishly, unapologetically, so that you learn you are your own champion. You are self-champion, self-sovereign. You stand for you. You stand for you. And then you've always got your back. If you don't have your back, it doesn't matter who else or what else says that it does. You feel that you have abandoned yourself, and you're always going to feel that wound until you turn around, you return to yourself, to your being, you pick yourself up and say, and I'm not talking about doing shit on your own, independent, this is not that discussion. I'm talking about internally, emotionally. If you compromise your integrity, what you feel, what you want, in order to appease other people, that is an abandonment of yourself, and that's what you're teaching other selves to do. So if you want to teach them how to feel good and safe and secure and create this world the way that they want it, you have to lead by example. You have to be yourself and stand for yourself and with yourself, and not waver in that and say, I don't care. I do for me. I ask, I give, I receive. All of it is myself. All of it is self-contained. And I don't need anything from anyone else. And now you're really freeing everybody up to understand and to feel that they're allowed to just be. They're not here to serve you. They're not here to please you, the same way that you aren't here to serve or please them. They get to just be whatever way that they choose, whatever way that they feel in that moment. That's so liberating. And it's because of you saying, I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to be the way that I am. I'm going to want what I want. I'm not going to feel sorry for it. Nobody has to change. Nobody and nothing has to change for me to feel good. I just choose to. And I choose to by following my own desires and standing for myself. That's it. That's it. We got to be those examples for ourselves, and therefore for all self, for one another. But it has to be through each of us individually, through our actions, through our behavior, through our commitment to self. Which means no more feeling bad. And I'm not saying it's disallowed. Again, you don't disallow yourself that experience. You just sit in it and let it be and recognize the soul doesn't feel bad about anything. The soul's not apologizing. The soul isn't guilty. The soul sees no sin, sees that there is no trespass against, there's no wrong here. Everybody's good. There is no harm that can be done. I cannot harm you. You cannot harm me. I am invulnerable. We don't touch one another. Not really. So I'm going to stand here and know that, even with you shouting the opposite out at me, trying to convince me of it, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. I'm going to stand here in my power, knowing it, beaming it so surely that no influence can shake me out of it. And this is the greatest act of love that I could ever carry forth for self. Standing in my power in the face of implied powerlessness, and just knowing I'm worthy, I'm good, I'm well, I'm secure, I'm stable, and by my knowing it, I'm knowing it for everyone. I'm knowing it for all. By knowing it for myself, I am knowing it for all self. And I'm standing here just beaming that knowledge with all that I am. Anyways. That's all I got to say. And it is all love. It's all love. There is so much love. There is nothing but love here for all of us. And I just want everybody to feel that. But I don't have the control over anyone else's experience, and I'm not going to try to control it. So I'm just going to stand here in mine, knowing what I know so surely, and beaming it with all that I am, believing, knowing it can only have a positive effect. Blessed be.